Okay, so this week's course, we got to play South Hills Golf Course in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Of all places, Hanover, Pennsylvania. I ran across this course one day when I was up driving around from Westminster to York, and it's before I actually found another course up there next to the border, which name escapes me right now, which I've already played and reviewed. I found this course first, but it was farther north and it was farther off 83 and it was less convenient, so I ended up playing it second. Actually, really, I had to go out of my way to play it. The problem with this course, if there is one problem with it, it is that it is far enough off any real highway where it takes like an extra half an hour to hour to get there from either like 83 or it's like a half an hour from 83 and it's a good ways from 795, but it's at the intersection of the line from 795 north of Baltimore, Reisterstown, and 83, sort of in between those two. But it's a great course. I got a decent look at it, just from the parking lot. Said I got to play this course. It kind of has holes that look a lot like the front side of Eisenhower, except better. This course was easily one of the best courses I've played this year, if not ever. Certainly this year. It is wide enough to hit away, swing away, yet tight enough in places and parts of the course to challenge your accuracy. It's got great verticality. It's got good water holes, a number of water holes. It's 3 different 9-hole courses, and none of them are less than 121 slope from the back tees. I played the West course and the North course, and it was Sunday at in the afternoon. Again, it was still pretty busy. Lots of people out there. The weather was really good. It was a little bit on the warm side. Got a little sun baked, but it was great. Good pace. Hardly that busy once we were on the course, and I just had some really good shots out there, hitting some great shots. Like this was over water from the blue tees or the back tees. Then they have white tees and then red tees. There's not a lot of tees, but this these holes were all like 550 par 5s, 400 350 to 400 yard par 4s. Nothing outrageously long. This was a 175-yard par 3, and it just was really fun. It had good wind. Wasn't like there was so many trees and you're playing in trees all the time where the wind wasn't a factor, but it wasn't like there was a lot of waste. On this, you don't see a lot of waste on these shots. There's some waste out there away from the fairway, certainly, but you've got to go way out away from the fairway to really get in the waste. And it's rare that you find a course like this that has good space where you can go out there and just kind of hit. And but if you do spin it, it's still tight enough where if you do spin or you shank the ball off the tee, you're still going in the waste. So this hole was really nice. Water hole coming over from the tees. There's 175 yards from the back tees. Fairly easy play, off the fairway there, the par 4 and then par 3, and I'm sorry, this was a par 3. It was 175 yards. That's why I usually don't try to follow along to my videos, but I thought I'd try something different this time. So there's 2 good water holes in a row right there, and that's after the other water hole where you tee off over the lake. So 3 good water shots there in a row. And it just was really a good challenge. Hadn't seen a challenge like that in a while. And from there, it just got better and better. I really thought it was a really, really, really nice course. I really enjoyed playing this. And this was just one of the 9s. So when you play this, you can see that there's some waste off to the left. There's waste in front. There's waste off to the right. But beyond the tree and the little bush there in the front, there's a wide open fairway. It's all you have to do is pop it out over there, and that sand trap fronts the green. But that sand trap is about 175 from the green. It's way back there past the top of that hill. So you can think from the map that you can just play to the right there and still play onto the green, but it's really not possible. You have to play over those trees on the right side of that sand trap. And then, you've got this coming down, off the backside. And it's just a good golf challenge. Not too tight, not too loose, not too much of anything, just a good balance all around. I also noticed on this course, I didn't see any houses on this 9 until I got to like the 9th hole. These guys I saw, they'd run their their carts up to the green. I'd seen this on a couple of courses, and I just wanted to take a picture or drop it in. I just thought it was really interesting to see people do that kind of stuff. It's a long par 5. You got a lake off to the right over there in the trees, but the lake is 275 out, So you got a good hit off the back tees. You really have to hit a really good drive to get to that lake. It's much more accessible from the second shot, and I ended up hitting up in that sand trap to the left and did actually pop my 3-iron, and it didn't hit it far enough left, and that whole side that you see that's under the lip there rolls down to the right into the lake, so it bounced down into the water. And then the next shot from there is like 175 to the green, way back beyond those 2 sand traps, in the back. This is a nice uphill hole, par 4 again. That hit again over the lake there in the front that comes across the center of the fairway, and then uphill about 175 to the green. And I was just really just having a great time. It reminded me a lot of that other course that I played out in Frederick. That was a 3x9, except this was bigger, bigger with fewer houses, better, just a better course. Not nearly as long on the rough, not nearly as many balls lost in that rough just because it just disappeared in there. This one, what is this? We're coming downhill. This is a little bit of a dogleg par 4 coming down and around to the left. And this is number 9 on that course. So this puts you right next to the clubhouse, just to the left there where the clubhouse is the start of that 9, and then we drop down and come down to the next fairway, the next green and everything. And this is a tee shot from number 10, or the first hole in the North course. Dogleg left, you clear the trees and you come down, and the number 11 is again very familiar. Almost, I'd have to say the same architect did this course as it did that course in Frederick that I played, but this is a much bigger, longer, wider course, and the holes turned out better. Not nearly as many houses on the course as on that course, and downhill par 4 with a tabletop green there in the back, and just really nice setup there for a fade coming in here. I guess the one thing I have to watch about is the tendency to kind of talk directly to the holes, which I really don't want to do. I have maybe 10 more shots coming up here. This was an excellent challenge of a tee shot. A lake on the center right of a dogleg right, and then you come back off to the left there, and you've got about 200 yards to the green back in the right side there. You can see really good challenge. And there were some houses here in this hole. We'd cross the street, go up here, and there's a par 3 at the top of the hill there. Then you come back, and big old top of the hill mountain shot, kind of like what you'd see maybe at Whiskey Creek, or at Bethpage. I think there's like the number, one of the backside holes, I guess, is like this. Number 17 or 16, where you're hitting downhill, this big downhill shot. This is a big uphill shot. It was really kind of a interesting shot here in par 5, uphill, tabletop green at the top of the hill. And then I took this shot here from the tee box on the hole that we're going to play here on the right side of that tree, just so you could get a look at the shot coming across that waist onto the green, because I was standing there, so I just took the shot. So then there's a par 3 at the top, which was a fairly decent par 3, really tricky line. I just want to add here, I've got to add here that this was really the first hole that I saw. All right, so yeah, really the first hole that I saw any aeration marks. And I'm just gonna really kind of briefly say here that this course, playing this course, really proved my theory that it is better to have a greens on a course that are not in tip-top condition, don't really look all that great, may have some crabgrass on them, some scuff marks, maybe even a few holes from gophers and stuff like that. You know, whatever that digs under the ground and digs into the, into whatever. I'm not sure what it was. Squirrels maybe. I'd rather have that on a green than an aerated green, or a course with aerated greens, because you never get a good putt on a course on an aerated green. It always sucks. The ball always bounces. It never rolls smooth. It drags. It doesn't break right. It's like playing croquet. Okay, it's not putting. There's a difference. I'd rather have a course with a fairway. I'm agreeing with all kinds of problems that putt smooth. Even if 50% of the green is not in good repair, it's the other half that you putt on that matters. You putt on the good parts and it's smooth and you get good putts, good rolls, good breaks, good everything. It never bounces up and down like it's a basketball bouncing down the middle of a court. Who wants to putt on crap like that? I don't want to putt on it. I admit, maybe some people would rather have aerated greens that look great and putt like crap. I would rather have greens that, if they look like crap but putt good, that's fine. I'm happy with that. All right, so anyway, I shouldn't overlook the fact that this course is 3 nines, and I shouldn't overlook that on the north side of the course, halfway through the course, yes, you do pass by a row of houses. Halfway through the course, yes, you do have to cross the street where there's cars going back and forth. Yes, halfway through the course, I heard like a helicopter flying overhead and that stuff like that. And so there were definitely some distractions on the north side of the course. There were none on the west course. I didn't play the south course, but it looked like it was okay. So there were some tee shots that I took in the north course where there were cars and road traffic and houses and stuff. But the problem is, by then I was 2/3 at least of the way through the round. Okay, I'd had a great round up to that point. Yeah, there were a few distractions. Really didn't take me out of my game. Really didn't bother me, and I enjoyed the round to that point so much. I couldn't complain about a few little distractions at that point. Now, if they had been the first 3 or 4 holes, or if they had been the first 9, it would be a different story. But for a couple of holes, I could deal with it for that course. For the greens, for the course, I could deal with a few holes of distraction. I have to give this course a solid B. I'm not going to give it a B plus or an A. A solid B. It is a great course to play. A wonderful course to play. Okay, with a few distractions on the north side. Got to keep that in mind. But for the rest of it, it is just awesome. 80% of this course is really good, with a few holes where you'll have problems on the north side. That's South Hills Golf Course in Hanover, Pennsylvania.